All right, guys, welcome back. Let's get into it. Imagine you're locked up, you're serving your time, and you know your release date. You're counting down the days. 2 weeks, that's all you have left. And then one day, you find yourself in a wheelchair in the infirmary, and nobody around you is taking it seriously enough. Imagine calling out for help for 45 minutes, according to what other inmates say, and no one comes. That's what happened to 28-year-old Khaira Howard at Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Ypsilanti, Michigan. She died on May 13th. She had been eligible for parole since March 5th, but she was still there, still waiting. 4 days later, on May 17th, 57-year-old Rebecca Fackler died at the same facility. Then on June 6th, 36-year-old Ashley Hoath at Trinity Health Hospital after being transferred from the facility's medical unit. We now know her death was ruled suicide caused by an intentional aspirin overdose. By early July, a fourth inmate, Dalephenia Jones, had died as well. The Michigan Department of Corrections called her death unexpected and said it was investigating what led to her being sent to the hospital. And just last week, a fifth woman died. Dasie Forbes, 69, had been hospitalized on July 11th with multiple chronic, life-limiting illnesses. She entered palliative care back in February. Because her death was considered expected, MDOC says there won't be an internal investigation or an autopsy in her case. 5 deaths since mid-May at the state's only women's prison. This facility was already under scrutiny before any of this happened. Allegations of toxic mold, leaking roofs, overcrowding, illicit drug use, poor ventilation, violence, and inadequate medical care have followed it for years. Civil rights attorneys with flood law are now investigating multiple of these deaths as part of an ongoing litigation involving more than 900 current and formerly incarcerated women connected to the facility. MDOC has pushed back on some of the harshest claims. They released environmental testing from April showing only minor, marginal elevations of fungal spores and a small number of indoor air samples. They say all inmate care requests are triaged by nursing staff, with multiple channels available for prisoners to report unmet needs. But here's what I know as a formerly incarcerated woman. I know that they give you those tablets and that your request goes in, and it may or it may not get read. You may get seen within a week. You may get seen within a month. I know what it's like to ask, hey, can I get an aspirin? And they say, well, you have to wait for the nurse to come on, or you have to wait till you go to the clinic to be seen. But because there's so many of you guys and so little staff, you don't get seen. Not quickly. I know what it's like to have your request dismissed because they say that, well, this person unfortunately had an overdose. So we're watching closely how we give out the medications now. I know what it's like to have the correctional officer literally look past you and give a wall more eye contact than they give you. If there were complaints about mold, it probably came from, a lot of times in my experience, the bathroom, the shower, because they don't have windows. There's no window that you can walk and just open up. You have to get fresh air by going actually out of the building. It's really unfortunate. Here's what we also know. The autopsy for Khaira Howard came back showing she died from a pulmonary blood clot. A blood clot in the lung caused by deep vein thrombosis in her legs. That's a condition, when caught early, is often treatable. Remember, she was just days away from being released on parole, and she was there still waiting. Separately, the warden, Jeremy Howard, has gone on personal leave. Michelle Floyd, previously the warden at Cooper Street Correctional Facility in Jackson County, has been temporarily assigned to fill that position. Investigations into the remaining deaths are still ongoing. Lawmakers, advocates, and families are demanding answers. An MDOC has launched a transparency and action web page to post updates on conditions at the prison. 5 women, 1 prison, and under 3 months. Again, I know what it's like to be incarcerated. I am a formerly incarcerated woman, and I've never been incarcerated, thankfully, at this facility or many at all. But in my experience, it's usually a repeat. It's literally a repeat. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. Poor ventilation, complaints about mold, sanitary conditions, poor treatment, inadequate health care. These are not new. These are not new grievances being brought up at even just this one facility, not even against just women. But it has been told multiple times from multiple facilities. So if anyone connected to the Women's Huron Valley inmates, families, current or former staff, if you have information to share, you can leave it in the comments. If you've watched the video this far and you've heard me go off on my tangents, please go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on this? Have you been a formerly incarcerated person and experienced these things, or have you unfortunately witnessed these atrocities happen to other people? Go ahead again, leave your thoughts, and we'll see you the next time.